Hello, welcome to a very special Monday episode of Naked Spaghetti. We are back on trial after a terrorist attack. Somebody threw smoke in the courtroom and nearly caused a lot of damage to the courtroom. So now we got to find out what the heck happened. Because we cannot allow this to go any further. It's just too much to bear. You can't do that in a court of law like this. So, we will find out the ending to this trial tonight. And joining me is joining me is Mooney and Sylph for this one. So,
and a very angry cat who's trying to slap my hand.
It's like, as long as it's not grumpy.
He's mad because I put him in a bow tie.
Oh.
But it had no bell on the collar, and he looks very cute.
Maybe he just doesn't like bow ties. All right, let us...
I know, a little gentleman, huh?
Let's go.
Whoa!
Let's find out what happens now. Okay, so we've been in that courtroom for 3 hours.
Holy crud.
It's like already in the afternoon.
3 hours later.
Can you move it along? I'm out of time cards.
What on earth just happened in there?
Mr. Naruhodo, I've managed to find out what happened.
Mr. Sato?
I was told it was an advanced form of a smoke grenade, a type of exploding device that releases smoke.
A smoke grenade? It sounds like the sort of thing ninjas use.
They're just making sure everything is safe now. I think the trial will start again before long.
But who would have done something like that?
The police managed to catch someone who was trying to flee the courtroom, apparently.
Flee the courtroom? Why?
Well, it's a young girl of around 15, I hear.
A young girl? Could it be the other passenger that Mr. McGilded was just talking about?
My thoughts exactly.
So he wasn't lying. Oh, what's become of Mr. McGilded, actually? There are so many things I need to ask him about, but he's not here.
I think he was summoned to the prosecutor's antechamber to answer questions.
Oh, shit.
Along with the young girl.
Who is she, I wonder? And what was she even doing here at the trial? She was taking a huge risk, and for what possible benefit to herself?
There's another... Sorry, my voice just cracked. Let me do that again. There's another matter that's troubling me.
What's that?
The 20 pence.
Hmm? Oh,
According to the coachman, Mr. Beppo, he took 4 passengers that night at a fare of 5 pence each. That comes to a total of 20 pence exactly.
But now it seems there were in fact 5 passengers.
Which means the figures don't seem to add up again.
She's right. That is strange.
Did they forget about what happened last time? That there was supposed to be 4 points as 4 pence each.
Yeah, now they're trying to figure that out.
Damn it.
Counsel for the defense, kindly proceed into the courtroom. The trial will recommence in 5 minutes.
Oh, thank you, officer. We'll go in straight away.
Well, whoever she is, I imagine this young girl will be asked to take the stand and testify now. I really can't imagine what she's going to say, but it could alter the whole direction of the trial.
We'll know soon enough, Mrs. Sato.
It always feels like every single time we have a that the antagonist of these things, each case so far, has always been women.
And it's
Huh.
all, and it seems to be all the ones you voice, Mooney. So it's like, I don't know. Could there be a coincidence involved in this? I don't know.
Ooh.
Fuck.
Yes.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, and here we are, Homestar.
1 p.m. Wow, that only lasted, what, that recess lasted only,
minutes?
yeah, it was like 8 minutes long. That was a pretty quick time then. There you go, Mooney. There's your character. There's the young girl next to Mr. McGilded. Look. She must have been the one who caused the disturbance before. Well, after that rather eventful recess, the court will now resume the trial of Mr. Magnus McGilded. Now then, Lord Van Zeeks. My lord. I believe you have established the cause of the smoke which veiled proceedings earlier. It seems to have been an advanced form of smoke grenade, of the sort typically employed by the army. Good gracious! The army? What in the devil's name? Hi, Ghosty.
Ghosty!
Ghosty!
And her
I don't
husband
know,
is on the
when I
screen
heard that,
right
old Victorian version of FBI open up.
now. Yeah.
That's fine. That's fine, Ghosty. If you'd like to join us for the after party, you can.
Oh crap, Nightbot timed out Ghosty.
What?
It says stop spamming caps. We're gonna have to get that fixed.
Yeah, we need to fix that, like, now.
I don't have Nightbot open. Oh, okay, Ghosty's back. Alright, anyway. It was an elaborate attempt by a young girl to cloak her escape from the public gallery, but she was caught. And now occupies the stand. Your name, girl? Are you responsible for the smoke grenade which induced such pandemonium here in my courtroom? What is the meaning of this deplorable behavior? Ahem. If I may, my lord. Yes, Mr. McGilded? I think perhaps I ought to explain here. Why is it that this wee lass was here in the first place, and why she tried to bolt like that? 'Tis all tied up with the events of that night, so it is. Very well, Mr. McGilded, give your testimony. We will explain to the court exactly how this young woman is involved in the case.
Oh shit. Sorry. I have to buy him up.
Just what did happen that night? It's not like a defense lawyer needs that information or anything. I hope my ancestors don't have the same problem, or my future
Descendants.
grandchildren. Yeah. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Then, begorra! A loud thud and a wee scream woke me up with a fast start. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at me feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Then I turned to find out where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find? There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away. I remained somewhat baffled, I confess, but from what I gather, on the night in question... This young girl was indeed riding in the omnibus, is that correct? 'Tis exactly as the defense counsel said. This last was the 5th passenger, my lord. Very well. The defense may now cross-examine the witnesses. Are you ready, counsel? Yes, my lord. Or rather, no. I have no idea where to start.
That face of pure horror right there.
I can agree with that. On the night in question, I took the back seat in the omnibus and promptly nodded off. Hold it! And when you first got onto the omnibus, were there any other passengers already on board? There were not. The cabin was empty, and there was no one on the roof deck either. You were the first passenger, as it were. I see. Aye, and that's why I took the backside as I did. 'Tis the most comfortable, so it is. Could you explain exactly what you mean by the back seat? By all means, 'tis how you already described it earlier. I'm talking about the seat opposite the one in which the poor gentleman who was stabbed was sitting. Like I said, 'tis the most comfortable and where I feel most at ease. And of course, I enjoy gazing through the skylight from time to time as well. Then, begorra, a loud thud and a wheat scream woke me up with a fresh start. Hold it! A loud thud, you say, and a scream? Aye, that's right. How can I explain it? 'Twas like the sound of someone falling to the ground, that sort of noise. So you think it was the sound of Mr. Mason falling to the floor having been stabbed? Well now, you'll remember I was asleep at the time, so I wouldn't like to say. And when the sound woke me and I opened my eyes, there wasn't a soul to be seen in the carriage but the fella on the floor. You didn't see anyone. But at the same moment, you did hear a scream? Ah, from the seats above you on the roof deck, I presume? Not above me, no, my lord. 'Twas from inside the cabin. But I wasn't altogether thinking about the scream. No, I was too stunned by the desperate sight before me eyes. There was a fella collapsed on the floor at me feet, so I sat him up on the seat across from me. Hold it!
Why?
You sat him up? The victim, you mean? That I did. On the seat across from me, as I said, I could plainly see the poor devil was already gone. And you wouldn't leave a dead man just lying on the floor now, would you? This common courtesy, so it is.
Gotta let the dead die with dignity.
I guess.
Wouldn't that be really technically by tampering with evidence?
Yes. Well, the guy's dead, so you know what? I might as well just put him on the bed, just so that he can have a good night's sleep before he goes to heaven. Or hell, depending on how his life was.
Oh, put him in a bed, get a coin, put that in his mouth, just in case he needs help.
Yeah, no, even better. Oh no, the poor man's dead. You know what? Let's take him to Miami. Let's have him go a run on the beach. Maybe just have a weekend at Bernie's or something. I don't know.
Oh gosh, I love this. I thought you'd want to sit the guy up if it was dark and you thought he fainted, not if he was already dead. Lol. Like did he check for a pulse and oh, you're already gone, or just. Then again, the knife sticking out probably done it.
Yeah.
It's like that Star Trek meme. He's dead, Jim. But that's impossible. I find that a little. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was gonna make a joke about I forget who it was, but they found someone. They were reading the note and they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, person, you're already dead." And I think it was Walter White or something like that.
Yeah, from Breaking Bad.
Yeah. He's dead, Jim.
Yeah, exactly. And not even, all he has to do is just take his pulse for like 2 seconds.
お前はもう死んでる。何?
I find that a little hard to believe. Aya, Lord Van Zeeks. Now, why would that be? You wake to find a man lying dead at your feet in a carriage. Any normal person would hail the cabman. Any upstanding member of London society, that is.
Hey, some people do weird things in traumatic moments.
Crap. How do you delete on the chat? Twitch chat. I didn't want to trigger the Nightbot.
What?
I think you have special privileges since you're in the green.
You're fine.
Oh, okay.
You have a sword. You can use that sword on the bot.
Nightbot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well now, as you know, I'm in something of a special line of business. The business of lending money at exorbitant rates of interest? Unfortunately, my lord, not everyone is thankful for the help I offer them, and some would even see me dead. So I do try, where at all possible, to avoid getting myself in a tangle with trouble. Are you suggesting you were just going to leave the man there? Heavens alive, no. I was always intending to report it, so I was. Only, I had a mind to find out the whys and wherefores first. The whys and wherefores? Right you are. There were some details I wanted to understand before anyone else got to meddling. That wee scream I heard, for example. Wouldn't your good self do just the same? Yes. The scream he says he heard at the same time as the thud of the victim collapsing. Then I turned to find out where that scream had come from, and bless my soul, what did I find?
Hold it!
I'm afraid I don't understand. I'm sure you told the court that there was no one else in the carriage except yourself and the victim. So I did, sir. So I did. As far as I could see, that is. What do you mean by that? Well now, 'tis a queer ting. The wee scream I heard as I woke up. It came from, if you'll excuse the vulgar expression, under me backside. Good gracious!
His hat looks like a ring pop.
It is fine. It is fantastically delicious.
Okay, Lucky Charms.
Now, name all the marshmallow shapes.
Heart, horseshoe, rainbow, clover,
Blue moon.
blue moon, yeah. Pot of gold? Or is that part of the rainbow?
No.
No.
Red balloon.
Yep, you got them all. Under your backside. And when I lifted the seat on which I'd been sitting, I found there was a wee cubby hole there for storage.
Mr. Naruhodo, we can we can examine the omnibus ourselves, remember?
Yes, of course. The whole bus was submitted as evidence.
This would be a very good time to have a thorough look around inside.
And that's when I found her. There was a child in there, all curled up in a ball, hiding her wee self away.
Hold it!
You say she was hiding herself? Aye, that's right. 'Twas hard to see in the dim lamplight, but she was all curled up in a wee ball when I as met. Well, me heart nearly stopped beating in me chest. Ugh, you're really overacting this. Still and all, I pulled her out from under there and sat her on the seat opposite so I can have a wee chinwag with her. The seat opposite? That's right, just next to the dead gentleman there. You sat this young girl next to a corpse, sir?
Oh, God.
Oh, just part of the Scared Straight program. Not worried, she might have another knife and might shank him too.
Well, as I'm sure I mentioned, a gentleman in my position can all too often find himself in mortal danger. So, I needed to find out just who this urchin was, you see. And while I was in the middle of talking with her, I heard another scream. A fella's voice this time. Presumably that scream was Mr. First, who was sitting on the roof deck seats. Right you are again, I would say, sir. Looking down through the skylight, he must have seen this young girl and the gentleman with the knife in his belly. In other words, the previous witnesses did not in fact see you at all, Mr. McGilded. What they believed to be yourself and the victim was in fact this girl and the late Mr. Mason? Aye, my lord. I was, as I think everyone understands now, sat at the back of the carriage out of sight. It is certainly plausible. The defendant is somewhat diminutive in stature, and readily confused perhaps with this young girl. After that, of course, with the scream from the gentleman over us, the driver released something was wrong and pulled up the horses. Thank you. I've heard enough. The events are are clear in my mind. However, at least one conundrum remains. Who is the girl? Her name is Dina Lestrade, my lord. She's a chancer, earns her crust among large crowds, relieving people of their purses. What's commonly called a pickpocket. What? This girl here? A petty thief? Order, order! Is this true, Miss Lestrade? Miss Lestrade, you will answer the question. Oh! How dare you? What is the meaning of this? Ah! The girl! She's gone!
I'm over here.
Good gracious! How? What was the point in that little sidestep?
I know what you lot are thinking. Grown-ups are all the same. This doesn't tip it, you say. Stepped up and got caught on the job. She got herself backed into a corner, so she knifed the gin. Go on, that's what your head is it? Go on, that's what in your head, ain't it?
No, not at all. This is a court of law. We're here to determine the truth, not cast...
Ooh.
Look, knives are for cowards. Only thugs use weapons like that. All I need for what I do is with these fingers. I'm a professional, alright? Maybe not in your eyes, but I got pride in what I do.
Let me guess. You don't count smoke guns among weapons for thugs?
Ooh, gonna get another one.
Oh, this? Yeah. This was in a bag I lifted the other day. Down where they keep the four-wheel drags. It's nice, ain't it? I like the pink vest.
Ah! Do not wave that thing in my direction again! So, You admit that you were riding the omnibus on the night in question? "'Tis all right, lass. You can tell him the truth now."
Alright, yeah. It's like the Irishman said.
The court accepts this girl, Miss Gina Lestrade, as a valid and significant witness in this case. Accordingly, young lady, we will now hear your testimony, if you please. You will tell the court exactly what happened in the omnibus on the night in question.
Alright. If I have to. So I snuck inside the carriage before they looked up in the horses, like, just like always. But it was a right waste of time. I got enough of the show for me troubles that night. I'll tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I heard this old barn. Nearly jumped out my skin, I did. And the scream just came out. It's because of that, this swell found me. It helped me get a wide mind.
Yes, he let you go. I fail to understand why you would let this street urchin go, Mr. McGilded. Oh, 'tis simplicity itself, my lord. You see, she couldn't possibly have killed the other passenger. I knew that for a fact. How? As I'm sure I said before, sir. I was sitting right on top of the place where she was hiding herself. I think a demonstration is called for. This is where I sat that night. And the cubbyhole of which you have spoken is underneath the seat, I presume?
Oh.
Yes. It does appear just large enough to accommodate someone of the girl's stature. Aye, but of course, the wee lass was stuck in there. Because I parked myself on the seat for the duration. Ah! So you see, that's why I let the lass bolt. I knew that if the police found her there, they'd automatically assume she'd done it. But I couldn't live with myself if a young life was ruined with all the time I knew she was innocent. Even though you must have realized your action would result in your own innocence being called into question? Not at all, my lord. Not at all. I knew in my own heart that I was innocent. So I thought it was worth taking a punt on my own good name for the sake of this less fortunate lass.
My goodness.
What a perfect gentleman. My lord. This fine example of a man cannot possibly be guilty of a heinous crime like this. I'm ashamed of myself for ever doubting you, sir.
We got 5.
Oh, dude. Nice. With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time.
We got 6.
I want her hat.
Saints alive! All 6 members of the jury consensual in their leaning to a verdict of not guilty?
Let's go!
If you wanted, you could get it. Let me know.
Mr. Naruhodo, well, it must mean...
It must mean what?
that we're victorious.
We've won? Are you sure?
Objection!
Oh, uh-oh.
Oh, hello.
Oh, shit!
That's right, everybody. Drink it in.
Ghosty?
Oh, someone check on Ghosty.
If the sight of my iron-heeled Wellington offends, pray do forgive the discourtesy.
Someone VIP Ghosty. I don't think Nightbot will get you if you're VIP.
How do I do that?
/ VIP and then Ghosty's username. Unless only Joey can do it.
No, you guys did it before. I didn't do
Oh.
that.
Okay.
This really is a consummate example of the one monumental flaw in British judicial
Damn it.
practices.
Damn it. I'm unable to.
Alright, then you
Okay,
gotta do
yeah,
it, so.
admin you need to be the owner to do that.
Hold on.
Yeah, gotta be the streamer itself. There's a space.
Yeah, space
Oh.
there.
Why does there have to be spaces? Why can't they just be like, yo?
Oh no, you put it in the wrong.
What do you mean?
Slash goes before the.
Damn you, Nightbot.
Wait. Oh.
It's supposed to be
Okay.
slash. I think it's supposed to be slash the first. And then space after VIP. Try that.
Wait, there's supposed to be a space in between slash and VIP?
No, that's good. Put it.
No.
Take the space out.
Okay, I got
There
it.
we go.
So, like this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Go.
Why is this here? Go away.
You mean I have to put it in brackets?
Visit the achievements page on your dashboard to learn how to unlock additional VIP slots.
Who do we have as
Oh.
VIP already?
Circus, probably, or you?
I can't because I'm mod.
I'm
Oh.
mod too.
Well, maybe no one is.
How can we do the achievements?
No, we'll worry about it later.
Why am I
Okay.
orange on your screen? I'm supposed to be. Oh, you know what? Yeah, let's mod Ghosty instead.
Okay, let's do that.
Because that's what we did the last time.
Sorry, technical difficulties, everybody.
It's not
I'm
technical.
orange on your screen, but I'm supposed to be. Darn, I'm supposed to be booby red.
Alright, there we go. That should work.
I think I'm a am I orange too, or am I green?
Alright, we got moderator. Alright, let's go.
All right, there we go.
Where evidence and reasoning should be paramount, emotion rules the day. Emotion? The witness's latest statement gives us a clear insight into his true nature. What do you mean, his true nature? Do you really think Scotland Yard would have made such a glaring omission? After the incident, the omnibus was comprehensively searched by officers of the police. Obviously, the interior of this cubbyhole, as the witness put it, was included in their investigation. The compartment under the posterior seat was full of the coachman's belongings. It's noted in black and white here in the police report. Good Lord! The evidence has been tampered with. In order to corroborate Mr. McGilded's story, someone has unlawfully removed everything from under the seat. What? Ow.
Oh, shit.
Order, order! How could such a devious contrivance possibly have been effected, Counsel? Naturally, we must acknowledge the deficiencies of the constabulary in allowing this to have happened. However, I assure you, when the omnibus was wheeled into the courtroom this morning, the compartment under the seat was not empty. Well, my Nipponese friend. Me? When the carriage was submitted as evidence, doubtless you examined it in fine detail, as would any self-respecting practitioner of the law. Pray, what did you find the condition of the undersea compartment to be?
Wait, did he look there?
Oh, to be sure, the young gentleman will be able to clear this up in a jiffy. No, he didn't. Sorry? Go ahead. You tell the court now, fella. How this is all an elaborate excuse by the desperate Lord Van Zeeks. Well, counsel, do you have something to say on this matter?
Oh, shit. Too much pressure.
Dial-up noises here.
AOL connection sounds.
Mm-hmm.
How am I supposed to answer? What can I say about the state of that little compartment under the seat in the omnibus? Sorry, I'm a failure. I didn't look. Why didn't I examine the omnibus more thoroughly? Perhaps I credited you with too much intelligence.
Oof.
It seems, my lord, that this Eastern initiate is as unreliable as wine from the barrel.
Racist.
Racist. Mr. Naruhodo.
Racist. Well now, it would seem the argument is moot. And the truth of the matter is they're for yous all to see after all. That there cubby hole under the seat is as empty as the devil's heart, so it is. Why? Why do I feel like something's not right here? I should like the jury to weigh in on this matter, I think.
Here we go again. It's gonna change.
That compartment is designed to house equipment used to maintain the smooth running of the carriage. The Guild's rules state that omnibuses should be properly fully equipped at all times. So certain wouldn't have been empty on the night in question. Beppo isn't that irresponsible. That money linen fleecer and the pick purse are lying.
Not again.
Ah!
We're going back and forth.
I can't believe I was nearly taken in.
What the hell?
The stinking rich are always stinkers. Nothing but cowards, the lot of them.
What? Oh no.
It's a trick! Of course it's a trick!
Quite so. I must concur her. God damn it. What
They are
the fuck?
easily swayed.
With calm, calculated reasoning, one arrives clearly at the truth every time.
Yes, but every time a different truth, it seems. My lord, I humbly exhibit the scales of justice. Clearly, a verdict of not guilty at this time would be wholly inappropriate. Thank you, counsel. But before we proceed any further, there is the matter of the outstanding cross-examination.
Trick or treat, you could say.
We're not at Halloween yet.
Hey, it's almost spooky month.
Counsel for the defense, begin your questioning of the witness, please. Yes, my lord. What just happened? The
You
whole
fucked up, dude. That's the whole thing. You fucked up, dude.
No, he didn't fuck up. I just made it worse for him. It's like playing football, and when you think the game is over, when it's like 60-0, here I am, prosecutor vampire at large, and I come in with 70 fucking points. The whole balance of the trial just shifted almost beyond recognition. The Reaper of the Bailey is at work, it would seem.
Hasn't he always?
I'm always working, motherfucker. Even when I'm at home.
Alright, I think the pizza's here, so small BRB
I
on
snuck
my end.
inside the cottage before they looked up the horses, just like always. But it was a right waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there. Then after a while, I aired this loud bag. Then it jumped out my skin, I did, and the skin just came out. It's because of that this swell found me. He helped me get away, mate.
And when Mr. McGill discovered you, he pulled you out from your hiding place?
I was scared stiff, I was. He dragged me out and sat me down on the seat and all.
Next to the victim, Mr. Mason?
Yeah, the bloke had knife in his guts. It was still bleeding. Then the carriage lurched a bit, and it ended up falling onto me.
Oh. How awful.
Both me and got covered in blood. It made me feel sick as a dog.
Both her hands covered in blood. That must be what the rooftop passengers saw. After that, I believe you talked with Mr. McGilded for a while, is that correct?
It asked me some stuff. Wanted to know my name and what I was up to and that. Then I heard something from up above. Someone screamed.
Yes, Mr. First on the roof deck, one would presume.
Well, I didn't want no one seeing me face, so I didn't look up. Then the horses were drawn up smartish, and this air Irish man said to me, "Get back under the seat. I see that you can get away later."
All 6 members of the jury have decided the defendant was innocent.
For
Not
one
anymore.
for one brief shining moment, yes.
It's clear that they are all still very unsure. If we could find some conclusive piece of evidence among this new testimony, I'm sure we would clinch the victory we want.
Yes, I think you're right. And I have this niggling feeling.
That's
Some-
a new term.
Something's bothering me, but I just can't quite put my finger on it.
So his pockets at the cat's brother looked up in the ulcers just like always. But it was fraught with a waste of time. I got nothing to show for me troubles that night. I tell ya, you can't see a blind thing in that hiding place. It's pitch in there.
So you couldn't see out of the cabin at all?
Not a jot. Most days I push up the cushion up with me and look out the crack. Then I can ever butchers who I'm gonna fiddle.
I thought you were a pickpocket, not a butcher.
I mean, I can have a look. The seat I got on the ain't as plush as the other one, see? Though most of the time, the passengers plant themselves opposite. But for some reason that night, this here Irishman spent the whole journey right over me head.
And for that reason, you weren't able to push the cushion up to peek out. I see.
Truth is, I ain't too happy in small dark places. Feels too much like being thrown in the clink.
Excuse me.
Is something wrong, Mr. McGilded? Oh, I do apologize. Was there something the matter, Counsel? I'm just wondering if Miss Lestrade's last comment made something occur to you, perhaps? You seem to be thinking something to yourself. Oh, no. 'Twas nothing important. I was feeling bad for the poor lass is all. I remember feeling desperate myself as a young lad, shut up in the dark. 'Twas terrifying, so it was. I see. Yes, I'm sure we can all sympathize. I'm still scared of the dark now. Aye, and I don't know about yourself, but I find that the darkness seems to make everything you hear seem that much louder as well.
Yeah. I suppose it does. Maybe.
Miss Lestrade, did you hear something that night? Anything? An unusual noise, perhaps?
Nah, not really. All I could hear was the Irishman snoring.
Be jobbers! There's no need to tell the whole world of me foibles, you little scamp.
What a pity. If only Miss Lestrade had heard something, it might have given us a vital new clue.
Yes. What should we make of that last statement of hers? My lord, I believe the statement just made by the witness is profoundly important. Profoundly important? But all she said was that she heard nothing. Yes, which is the profoundly important point. I'm almost sure of it. I'm almost sure that I don't understand the inner workings of your Eastern mind, Counsel. Nevertheless, Miss Gina Lestrade, you will supplement your formal testimony by repeating that last statement, please.
What? Supplement? What are you on about? Don't Give me all your fancy talk. I know what you're trying to do, but it won't work on me.
That's right. Insult the judge. Always a good move.
I was straining my ears to work out what was going on, but all I could hear was snoring.
So you were straining to hear what was happening the entire time, since the moment you hid yourself.
Not exactly, no.
Sorry?
Well, there was no one in the cabin to start with. I could just push the cushion up and out of a butcher's to see what was what. But then, when I saw the swell getting on, I got me head down, so he didn't notice me.
And Mr. McGill sat on the seat under which you were hiding, correct?
Yeah! You would Adam and Eve it, eh? What a mug! So then, all I could do was listen. I was waiting to jump out of there as soon as I heard him leave, see? But, well, not likely. Even though we stopped in there, I never heard the door open. So I just had to step put and listen to him driving his pigs to market, snoring like an old dog he was.
Are there any conclusions we could draw from that, I wonder? Miss Lestrade, what you have just told the court is clearly at odds with the facts.
Ah,
At odds? Are you sure, man? Absolutely. It seems my learned Nipponese friend is not as dull-witted as I feared. So Van Zeeks realized it too. Counsel, I must insist that you bolster your claim with evidence, or some complicit party's name at the very least. Yes, my lord. I expect you to demonstrate this alleged contradiction to the court. According to Miss Lestrade, while she was hiding in the omnibus that night, she heard nothing but the sound of Mr. McGilded snoring. But think, Renoske, think. Ow! There's something else she should have heard. Very well, my lord. Allow me to elaborate.
Idiot sandwich time.
yes!
On a particular sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear on the night in question. The sound very clearly explained by the presence of the following person. Take that! Thrice-fired Mason? Yes, my lord. The sound that Miss Lestrade could not have failed to hear is that of the victim, Mr. Mason, boarding the omnibus. Order! Order! Explain your reasoning, counsel. Miss Lestrade, allow me to confirm something. You claimed earlier that you were the first person on board the omnibus. Is that correct?
Yeah, of course I was. I got on while the driver was in the pub, didn't I?
And the next person aboard the omnibus was Mr. McGilded? That it was. Not a soul was in the cabin when I climbed aboard. At least not in plain sight. So you were, to all intents and purposes, alone in the enclosed cabin of the omnibus at that time? Did I not just say as much? I wasn't traveling with anyone else, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I saw him get on, remember? Through the crack under the seat cushion. It was on its own for sure.
And from what we've heard, the carriage made a number of stops after that on its onward journey. During which time, did you not hear the door opening or closing at all?
Nah, I never heard it. That's exactly what I was listening for, wasn't it? Waiting for the swell to leave.
In which case, when and how did the victim end up in the carriage? We know that the victim collapsed inside the enclosed cabin of the omnibus. Therefore, Miss Lestrade's statement about what she did or did not hear is at odds with the facts. Yes, this petty thief's statement was clearly flawed. Lord Van Zeeks! Yes. He knew all too well that there was an inconsistency in Miss Lestrade's statement. It would seem words of thanks are in order for my learned friend. What are you talking about?
Excuse you.
You have demonstrated matters impeccably. This witness and her colorful statements are entirely unreliable. Her words are inconvenient untruths, nothing more. Oh God,
Oh,
it's
What the?
damn it.
2 to
Gonna
4.
put Granny in a bad hole now.
Ah,
What the hell?
she
What the hell is happening?
she didn't even say anything.
I didn't want to judge the dear little mite just because she had some rather naughty ways. But I must say, I can't abide liars. Neither can I.
Mr. Foreman,
I didn't want to judge the girl just because she has some less than salubrious ways. But I must say, I cannot abide liars. Well, crap.
ah,
Mr. Naruhodo, that's 5 jury members leaning towards guilty.
wine time.
Oh, shit.
Well, your consideration for others is refreshing, my Nipponese friend.
Racist.
To the considerable troubles you have spared me. Yes, very refreshing. Ah! Ow.
Like he's pretending there are tears.
Oh, what are you playing at? Are you forgotten who you're working for, you useless Eastern Amadon?
Oh.
This is carnage. It's perfect. Juror number 2 is the only one left.
Mr. Naruhodo, the way this is going,
I know. If we can't find some new way to convince everyone of Mr. McGilded's innocence, the judge will rule and we'll have lost.
I very much want to believe the words of one of London's most respected gentlemen. But those of us in service know we must accept hard truths. Huh?
Yes, the witness's last statement seems to have revealed a critical inconsistency in her story. However, if we consider the possibility that her statement is in fact the truth, it may shed an entirely new light on this whole case. What are you saying?
Counsel!
I'm sorry, sir? What do you mean?
Counsel, I will not tolerate you attempting to prorogue my adjustication. Explain yourself at once. When the accused boarded the omnibus on the night in question, the victim was nowhere to be seen. Subsequently, the carriage door was not heard opening a single time, as testified by the witness in the stand. And yet the victim's body was found inside the carriage. If this petty thief's words are to be believed, how do you explain the victim's miraculous appearance inside the cabin of the omnibus? There's only one way to explain how the victim came to be inside the carriage. If the door wasn't opened even once, the only explanation is that the victim entered the enclosed cabin some other way.
Objection!
I wondered what new fantasy you would come up with in your blind panic.
Is that the correct answer?
But behold, the omnibus is here for all to see. Only one side of the enclosed cabin is furnished with a door. The other has only windows. Fixed windows, which cannot possibly open. In short, there is no entrance to the cabin other than the door.
Objection!
Dang, can't even open the window, so if someone farts, you're doomed.
Oh, damn it.
But there could be. There's one possibility you haven't considered. Oh, really? Yes, one other way inside that isn't the door. Another opening, the use of which allowed the victim to appear inside the enclosed cabin. All right, counsel. The defense will identify the location for the court. Here is the omnibus on which the incident occurred. Where on earth is this entrance by which you propose the victim entered the cabin?
Wait, the skylight?
You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure.
Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly.
That's not good for us.
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It can only have been the skylight. I say, the skylight.
Objection!
Your ludicrous proposal almost had me lost for words. However,
Objection!
the skylight may well be large enough for someone to pass through.
Objection!
So you claim. But do you have a shred of evidence to support your addle brain theory?
Damn it.
Both Mr. McGilden and Miss Lestrade said the same in their testimonies. They each claimed to have heard a loud thud, such as the noise made by someone falling to the floor. Yes, which has already been explained. As the sound of the victim falling from his seat having been assaulted with the dagger. Yes, it has. But Would a man slipping from the seat onto the floor really have made such a loud noise as the witnesses describe? A noise loud enough to cause Miss Lestrade to let out an involuntary cry, in fact. Good gracious! Perhaps, in fact, that was the moment that the victim made his entrance into the cabin. No, let me rephrase that. The victim didn't enter the cabin as such. He fell into it.
Objection!
You're now suggesting that the victim fell from the skylight into the cabin? That's simply impossible. How can you be so sure? Because if the victim had fallen inside through the skylight, as you say, the passengers on the roof deck would have seen it happen. And yet, not one person made mention of such events in their testimony. Well, yes, that's true, but... Might a humble fella make a wee comment here? Mr. McGill did? To be sure now, the two fellas who were sat on the floor that testified afore said nothing of the victim falling through the skylight. But it seems to me, my lord, that this not so much a case of them not saying, but... Aye.
What?
What the hell?
'Tis a case of them being unable to say. I think perhaps the two fellas do be having something of a compelling reason not to mention what happened. Would yous not agree, fine ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Oh my goodness. Surely not.
Those two chaps on the roof?
You mean the one you're stuck in half and the man that where?
Just what exactly are you insinuating here, you blitherer?
You rotter, he said. You rotter. What are you insinuating?
What are you doing?
Doing.
This is a flaming outrage. I've a good mind to give you a blinker in a minute.
He'll give you a shine in a minute, he said, and so will I.
Ooh.
Mr. Fairplay.
You're effectively accusing me, a city gentleman and well-respected banker.
And me, a very angry hatter.
I guess. Well, you're as mad as one, though, like I said.
Suggesting that someone like me could have stabbed that man in the guts. It's a disgrace. It's scandalous. It's arg.
Pirate.
I protest. I protest in the strongest possible terms.
That's right. I protest too. About you, you rotten scoundrel. Order! 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 This is not the time, witnesses. I will not permit this wanton invasion of the stand. Return to the empty room at once.
But this is beyond reason, my lord. Arr, it's outrageous.
It's very hurtful, you know. My lord, if I may comment. Go ahead, Lord Van Zeeks. It was the defense that incited this outburst from the witnesses. My learned friend has seen fit to abandon all protocol and accuse the witnesses without proof. Accuse? I never intended to... It seems, young Nipponese, that your command of the English tongue is wanting. You propose to this court that the victim fell through the skylight from the roof deck of the omnibus. That hypothesis could not possibly stand without the rooftop passengers being aware of the events. You have branded these gentlemen liars. You have intimated their criminal guilt. In our British courts of law, that is what is termed a baseless accusation. I know I was rash to put this idea forward without any actionable evidence, but you can't just dismiss it without a second thought.
What are we wasting time for? Get to them. Testify.
I thought there was something fishy about that hat from the moment I laid eyes on the fella.
Well, fuck you too.
Up yours, hat. We have to see this matter through now, one way or another.
Arr, I'm gonna take that mustache. And I'm gonna ring it all over you when I find that booty. Arr.
If this is rubbish on this, we must dispose of it at once.
Hey, I'm not wubbish. Oh no, now the crowd is cheering.
What's happening, Mr. Naruhodo?
Started a riot.
The spectators in the public gallery they're in a complete frenzy.
I gotta hurry up and testify so I can go home and play Sea of Thieves. Arr.
Mr. Fairplay and Mr. First?
My lord?
You will take the stand again and make another formal testimony in reference to the indictment brought by the defense.
Yes, my lord.
I didn't come here for this. There's no time to think this through. All I can do is keep pushing forward.
Gotta keep moving ahead. No time for questions. I'll go my way instead.
Yes.
We were the only two people up on that roof deck, dead or alive. I could swear to that.
If anything had happened where we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed?
In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man.
The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We could possibly have opened it.
If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof?
I must say that on listening to this testimony, it is somewhat hard to imagine how either witness could have performed any malevolent act on this open rooftop deck without the other noticing forthwith.
That's right. You see?
We're innocent, I tell you.
Although logically, of course, the argument falls down if the two of you were in collusion with one another.
What?
Eh?
According to investigations by Scotland Yard, the two witnesses share no common dealings.
Ah, well, I don't trust coppers any more than I trust the stinking rich. Something doesn't feel right here. The trial is going in our favor, really. So why do I feel so uneasy? Counsel for the defense, over to you. Your cross-examination, please. Oh, yes, my lord.
We were the only two people up on that roof deck, dead or alive. I could swear to that.
If anything had happened where we were sitting, don't you think one or the other of us would have noticed?
In any case, neither of us know the first thing about the victim. We had no reason to kill the man.
It's usually the perfect way to go get away with it, or so I'm told. Because strangers, you won't get connected to them on a personal level at all.
So, you had never met Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason before?
Oh, lummy, no. Not once. Never.
He never met the man before, he said. Never. And you, Mr. First, had no prior dealings with the victim either? That's right, sir. Hatters don't have much to do with brickmakers, to be perfectly honest, sir.
No, I imagine not.
You see? How many different ways can I put this? Neither of us have the remotest connection to the gentlemen who are inside the cabin.
Excuse me.
Mr. McGilded? Yes, counsel. What can I be doing you for? Did the witness's last statement give you pause for thought somehow? Not the remotest connection? Is that right now, I wonder?
What are you insinuating now?
Ah, Mr. Fairplay. 'Tis has been too long, so it has.
Eh?
If I'm not very much mistaken, I believe 'tis fast approaching, is it not? Your repayment date.
I beg your pardon.
You borrowed 20 guineas from me, sir.
At an unconscionable rate of interest. You tricked me. It's extortion.
Well now, is that a touch of begrudgery, is it? The sort of begrudgery that might motivate a fella to pass his crimes off on another.
Arrgh!
Munch, 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 munch.
And young Mr. First. Me, sir? What do you want with me, sir? You do be making hats for a living, do you not? That there top hat sliding about on your head? Is that one of your own creations, is it? Oh, well, I'm still just an apprentice, you understand. I'm learning to find the perfect fit for whatever fine gent walks through the door. The perfect fit, is it? Well, 'tis a very distinctive design, so it is. Many customers like it, I tell you. They like a distinctive touch. Customers, such as Thrice-Fired Mason? There was a photographic print of the victim submitted as evidence afore, my lord.
Put 'em
Oh.
up, put 'em up.
This you mean. I can't help thinking that the poor fellow's hat looks distinctly familiar, wouldn't you say? Oh! That's one of my hats. Aye, that it is, so it would seem the brickmaker was a customer of yours. The sort of customer, I'd wager, you could have had a wee quarrel with over the distinctiveness of the goods. Oh, no, sir. Absolutely not, sir. Well, there's really nothing more to add. It wouldn't be right to say that the two fellas here haven't the remotest connection to at all. I rest my case.
You little weasel. Arr!
He's better at this than I am.
Gosh, Mr. McGilded has certainly been thorough in his research, hasn't he?
Please, don't let me little interruption hold up the proceedings. The skylight was shut the entire time, I tell you. We couldn't possibly have opened it.
Hold it!
Are you quite certain about that? That the skylight was shut the entire time?
I'm going to lose my block with you in a minute.
He's going to lose his wag with you in a minute. That's what he said.
Take a look for yourself. Go on. You see? It's shut fast now, just like it was on the night.
So it is. Of course, a fella the size of Mr. Mason could have likely break through it, still and all.
What?
Just looking at the size of the thing, you understand.
Arr, now you hold on there a minute, sir. The size of the ting means nothing. Not on its own. Let's consider the bigger picture here, shall we?
Let's stop biting our cane, shall we?
You've called it out.
I was riding the omnibus on another occasion when, well, I broke wind loudly. I shocked myself with it as it happens.
This is an unexpected confession, Mr. First.
Oh, I just mean to say, well, the point is, I tried to open the skylight, you see. But, just my luck, I couldn't make it budge. The stench was terrible.
Oh.
Everyone was looking daggers at me, so I went as wet as wogue, I did.
Are you expecting me to sentence you?
Oh, no, sir. The point is, the skylight can't be open. I tried and tried when I was inside that cabin of shame.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to say about that, Miss Lestrade?
I called it.
Miss Lestrade.
It opens.
Hmm?
The skylight. It is what we're talking about, right? All those skylights open dead easy.
More easily than you can load that weapon? That's a lie, I tell you. Otherwise, when I broke wind, I...
You can't do it from inside, you mug.
Oh.
Look, a few weeks ago, I was up on the roof deck of one of them drags. And I had a great haul, I mean. I had verses coming out me ears.
Miss Lestrade, this is not the forum to be utilizing on the subject of your criminal activities.
Well, anyway, I had a bit of a scare. When I lifted the last bloke's purse, it got wise to me. All four of them surrounded me, so I couldn't off the bus and leg it. So what I did was, I used the skylight, opened the catch and jumped right through.
What?
Yeah, the catch for them skylights is on the top side. It's what you can't open them from the cabin.
The skylight opens from the roof deck?
Bailiff! Climb up onto the roof of the omnibus at once and verify this witness's claims.
Oh.
Ah,
Oh, my hat!
See?
Order, order, order! So, it appears that this street girl's statement is quite true.
I don't believe it. The skylight opens, and from the roof deck...
Mr. Naruhodo. This could be the clue we've been looking for.
Well, counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. So, the skylight opens. Perhaps I should investigate for myself.
If you're so sure the victim fell through the skylight, where's your proof?
So the skylight was fastened shut before.
But now the catch has been undone. We should be able to open it. Wait.
You could certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure.
Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly.
That's not good for us.
There's red.
I'm trying to get that. Oh, God. I already did that. Oh, wait a minute. I know what to do.
Okay.
We're gonna go in through the inside.
Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we?
Ah, the scene of a murder. It's horrible.
Looking up. Yes, it does open very wide, doesn't it? Wide enough to kick someone like you through, certainly, Mr. Naruhodo.
Why someone like me?
Why not someone like you?
You gonna Sasato throw me again?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn it. What is it?
Look, just there. Look at this. Because I love that. Let's try it.
That's without question.
It's blood.
Why would there be a blood stain there?
Surely it can't be unrelated to the case, can it?
Objection!
On the night in question, the victim was fatally stabbed in the stomach. And immediately afterwards, the victim's body was pushed through the skylight into the cabin below. Those are the facts, and the irrefutable proof remains clearly visible in the omnibus that stands before us today in this very courtroom.
What? That's utter humbug. Arr, you can't possibly have any evidence.
No, you can't. I mean, we didn't do it, I tell you. It's impossible.
Irrefutable proof here in this courtroom. Counsel,
My lord.
I believe everyone would appreciate a little clarification here, Where exactly within the omnibus is this evidence to which you allude? You will point out what it is that proves the victim fell from the roof deck through the skylight. By Jupiter! Is that blood?
Arg!
This bloodstain proves two things. Firstly, when the incident occurred, the skylight of the omnibus was open.
What?
And secondly, the victim was already bleeding when he fell through the opening. Oh my! And so it follows that Mr. McGilded, who was inside the enclosed cabin himself at the time, cannot possibly be guilty of this crime.
No!
Order, order, order!
But. But the blood could have sprayed out there when the fellow was stabbed inside the cabin.
And
No
only found,
buts.
and only found its way to that one particular spot on the skylight? Sure, and that would have been very inconvenient. Convenient, my bad.
Arr!
And let's keep in mind that the skylight catch can only be unfastened from the roof deck. I myself wouldn't have been able to open it now, would I? But, there's no way to know for certain, is there? If the gent really fell through the skylight, I mean. Why don't you have a good look at the floor of the cabin between the two seats, Mr. First? This all too plain if you see. There's the aftermath that shows the poor fella dropped from a fair height right there, so it is.
What? No!
But it can't be. It's all
Lies!
My fellow jury members, I think we can all agree that this is clear proof of the defendant's innocence, can't we?
I believe we can. Yes, sir. It's clear to me now where the filthy rubbish can be found in this courtroom.
So, they thought they could pull the wool over my eyes, did they?
I won't tolerate any of the guild's carriages being salted with blood. I won't tolerate it.
Oh, I always knew that nice gentleman who gave us that delightful park couldn't have done such a thing.
On three then, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
3.
Objection!
Not
What is
so
one?
fast. Not so fast,
Uh-oh.
Kaiba. A chilling performance, Mr. McGilded.
Oh, and what will you be referring to now, Lord Van Zeeks?
A blood stain on the frame of the skylight? Such evidence is null and void.
What? Why?
For one extremely simple reason. That smear of blood never existed.
Objection!
What are you talking about? It's all for there to see, and it's clearly blood.
Objection!
I personally attended Scotland Yard's investigation of the omnibus. The officers involved went over the carriage with a fine-tooth comb. So I can state with absolute surety, no such smear of blood existed in the carriage. At least, not until this trial began.
But
Or are you suggesting, Lord Van Zeeks, that this stain of blood was fabricated, my lord? Yes. And while this court has been in session.
what? Ow.
Thump.
What a palaver. I must say I didn't expect such crude reasoning from a prosecutor of your standing, Lord Van Zeeks. But I'm Magnus McGilded, a fellow known all over the capital for his fine contributions to public life. I don't take kindly to slander, and I'll fight it to the bitter end. Even if it's rolling off the tongue of the Reaper of the Bailey.
Mr. McGilded, I realize that this is your first appearance in court as the accused. However, I am well aware of your involvement behind the scenes in a great many affairs of dubious nature. You're very inept when it comes to avoid getting your own hands dirty. And each time it happens that a case you're involved in is investigated, you adapt the facts.
Adapt the facts? What does that even mean?
When you wield a fortune the size of Mr. McGilded's, however ill-gotten it may be, nothing is impossible. Tampering with evidence, manipulating the scene of a crime, bribing witnesses. I toast your ability to concoct the most convenient of stories, sir.
Tut tut, Lord Van Zeeks, this will not do, to be sure. Will it now, counsel? Oh, no. I think it's fair to say this does all sound like a rather far-fetched excuse by a desperate man. The blood on the skylight didn't exist, he say? But, if yous will all cast your minds back, is it not true that the omnibus there has been in the courtroom the entire time? How could anyone possibly have put a smear of blood in it without the world and his wife seeing? Isn't that right now, counsel? It's true. The omnibus has been in full view the entire time that court has been in session.
My learned friend. Here's to hearing your opinion on this matter, in your own words.
As you wish. Could someone have tampered with the omnibus during this trial? If you're asking me, I think... As a defense lawyer, it's my job to advocate for the defendant as best as I can. But still, I feel as though there's something even more important at stake here. There is no evidence to suggest that the defendant did as my learned friend suggests. However, in terms of having the opportunity to carry out the alleged tampering, there is one possibility.
Oh.
Good gracious! Explain yourself, counsel. Yes, there is. It seems my learned Nipponese friend has no intention of running from this deceit. Deceit?
I'm sure everyone still remembers clearly the recess that we were forced to take as a result of the smoke grenade fired by the witness currently in the stand, Miss Gina Lestrade. What is going on?
Be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Cover your face.
Bailiff, don't let the accused escape. Secure the omnibus. I hereby call an emergency recess. Bailiff, ensure the defendant is in custody and clear the courtroom.
The courtroom was filled with smoke and everyone was thrown into confusion. All of us were made to leave this chamber. In that brief interval, under the veil of smoke and in all the chaos, it could have been possible to steal inside the omnibus.
Are you wise? What are you trying to pull, ye rotten feckless gouger?
Whoa.
Feckless gouger?
You're supposed to be defending me. This a wicked plot. This a plot to undermine me, so it is.
Objection!
Whatever you think this is, it changes nothing. The facts are the same. After this courtroom was evacuated earlier as a result of the smoke grenade, a number of inconsistencies materialized in relation to the omnibus. Inconsistencies? Such as... To start with, the storage compartment underneath the rear passenger seat. When the police investigated the omnibus, this compartment was full of the driver's items. Secondly, we have the smear of blood on the edge of the skylight. As I have said, that was not present at the start of the trial this morning. Unfortunately, Lord Van Zeeks, no one is able to corroborate your claims. That's true. When the omnibus was first wheeled out, both the storage compartment and the skylight were shut. Accordingly, I'm afraid to say we cannot establish with any certainty if this evidence is the result of tampering or not. Indeed, my lord. No doubt there was not a single person who saw fit to verify such things.
What do you think?
Sorry?
About the omnibus. Get away from my pizza. Is there anything else unusual about the omnibus?
My lord. Yes, counsel? There is one further inconsistency. A mark that surely could not have been present at the start of the trial. What?
What in the devil's name are you gonna say now? If you dare to betray me, you little maggot, you'd better start watching your back.
Silence, McGilded. The court awaits the defense's clarification.
Does he really think he can go after Renosuke when you can just hold your hand out and like stop him? Like, you know how in cartoons when they do that to a kid and keeps them from getting close?
Yep.
Just do that.
Nope, not gonna do it. This trial keeps swinging one way and then the other. I have no idea what's the truth and what's deception. What am I supposed to believe here? I shall have to ask you to elaborate, counsel. Where exactly is this alleged mark that you claim appeared at some point during the trial? If we consider that the victim fell through the skylight onto the floor of the cabin, you would certainly expect to find signs of blood where he landed. But as far as I recall, this blood stain on the cabin floor was not there when the omnibus was first brought into the courtroom. Good Lord! Yes, I do believe you're correct, counsel. Well said. Although, as advocate for the defense, one might say that was a very careless slip of the tongue. I believe that bloodstain on the floor is a decisive piece of evidence. But if the question is whether that evidence is genuine or whether it was unlawfully fabricated by someone, I feel compelled to admit that there's at least a possibility that the evidence is fake.
Oh.
This trial is over.
Uh-oh.
Mr. McGilded?
I think we've lost, dude.
I've done everything I possibly can to cooperate with the court, but it's all over now.
But you're the defendant.
This over, I tell ye. Memory, recollection, what people think they saw. 'Tis all a nonsense. Facts are what counts, and the fact is that bloodstain is there, now.
Well,
And over the course of this desperate trial, long and extremely drawn out as that has been, that good-for-nothing Reaper of the Bailey has failed to present any decisive evidence at all. I'm scandalized, so I am. I thought better of Lord Van Zeeks. Well, my lord?
I must concur with the defendant. The unaffirmed recollections of an individual cannot stand as evidence. At this moment in time, the particular bloodstain in question is very much in existence. And in the absence of any credible method by which to prove its alleged previous non-existence, I regret to say that it would be improper for this trial to continue. Your lordship can't be serious. Lord Van Zeeks, what is your position? The prosecution, my lord, has no further witnesses or evidence to present. Very well. In that case, as I believe we have explored every possible avenue in this matter, I shall proceed to my adjudication. As a formality, I am of course obliged to confirm with the defense first. What formality?
As things stand at the moment, it would seem that Mr. McGilded would be found not guilty.
Yes.
Thanks.
Which would mean we've won.
Is it that really the right outcome here?
We don't know just yet.
Is it really alright for the trial to come to an end now, with all these unexplained inconsistencies? Counsel for the defense, your closing statement, please. Yes, my lord. The defense believes...
Oh.
As Mr. McGilded's legal representative. I can't breathe. The air in here is stifling.
Oh, crud.
But I'm this man's defense lawyer. There's only one thing I could say in this situation. I believe the defendant, Magnus McGilded, is to be innocent of the allegations brought against him. Thank you, counsel.
Here's to you, my Nipponese friend, and the most abject closing I have yet to hear in a court of law.
Very patronizing.
Order, order.
Ow!
This man's gone crazy.
It was a grand decision to appoint you as my lawyer, so it was. A grand decision. You saved one of London's most influential gentlemen, fella. You should be proud of yourself. Here, have this for your troubles. Ah! Your job here's done, fella, and some fine work you've done, so you have. What do you mean? This just as the right honorable gentleman so succinctly put it before. The trial can't go on anymore. And your closing statement there was, how did he put it now? Nothing more than a formality.
So there's the door.
Wah! Wah! Wah!
Waluigi this whole time. I really don't know what to make of all this. Was it evidence we've seen genuine, or was it fake? Get off my desk.
His lordship would be fuming. Any unsightly rubbish should be disposed of properly, as I said.
As stinking rats, you're always guilty of something. You, mark my words.
I feel terribly ashamed that I ever dated that lovely man who gave us the lovely park. Wow, Luigi.
Now the proceedings have unfolded in this way, I am compelled to declare a premature end to this trial. Furthermore, the court must accept the defendant's plea.
I thank you kindly, my lord.
Oh, there he is.
I hereby pronounce the verdict of this court.
Objection.
But we still haven't determined if the bloodstain in the omnibus is genuine or not. We don't know if these witnesses are telling the truth or a pack of lies. We have no idea about the truth.
Lord Van Zeeks, my lord, the case made by the prosecution was flawed, plain and simple. If indeed the omnibus presented as evidence was tampered with, the prosecution is at fault for allowing such a disgraceful perversion of justice to take place. My sincerest apologies, my lord.
Objection.
But wait!
What are you doing?
When we were evacuated from the courtroom, Lord Van Zeeks ordered the evidence to be secured.
Shut up, Ryunosuke!
I'm afraid the prosecution could not shun responsibility in this matter.
That's so unfair!
The culpability of the defendant has not at the present time been established by this court. Consequently, the jury will not be required to proffer judgment.
What?
Well, Lord Van Zeeks, it's been a pleasure, so it has. And as for you, my dear fella, I couldn't have asked for a better defense.
Do you mean to tell me this has all been a grand waste of time?
'Tis the law of the land, my good man. If you'd like to pursue this matter further, you can always go ahead and try to change the law.
Magnus McGilded.
Good grief, you've gone to say to me, have ye?
Just one thing. A warning.
Oh shit.
This is far from over.
Well, something to be looking forward to then.
Why is he doing a JoJo pose?
Wah! Wah!
Like, I'm not mad, right? That's what it looks like.
Well, let me just say that I was actually the first person that Rocky came to when he wanted to do poses. Because fuck all that Renaissance Italian bullshit. I'm the true JoJo poser.
I hereby pronounce the defendant, Mr. Magnus McGilded, not guilty.
Do 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 do.
Yes, fireworks.
Oh fuck, he's gonna.
Oh fuck, he's gonna kill us now.
Listen, I know, right? I'm gonna talk about the man's been cleared. He's innocent.
What the hell just happened?
I don't know.
With the courtroom in pandemonium for the second time that day, the judge delivered his verdict. And my first ever trial in Great Britain came to an abrupt end. With the defendant being found not guilty, ostensibly a victory for us.
Why did it feel so empty?
Damn it. If we kick their ass, what do we
Please,
feel like they
can
want?
I have some more?
God, we were in there for almost 7 hours.
That certainly was a long trial.
Yes it was.
Your first ever trial in foreign soil and your first victory. It was a wonderful performance.
Ghosty,
My heartfelt congratulations.
Ghosty says, wasn't expecting another ahem. Refreshing, like a spring breeze.
You won't get what that means, Moody. At least not yet. And to you, Mrs. Sato, thank you for your assistance. I suppose we should be happy. The trouble is, we're still completely in the dark about what actually happened.
Well, we didn't have enough time.
But isn't it wrong? I mean, who was actually responsible for Mr. Mason's death? We don't even know that.
The sole aim of the defense is to obtain a verdict that exonerates the defendant. You carried out your duty to perfection.
Aye, that you did. Mr. McGilded. Ah, and that girl is with him, too. Well, it seems the stories are true. Oh, what stories? About the 6 enormous fireworks they do be letting off when there's a verdict of not guilty. I'm sure yous must have seen them now. Spectacular, wouldn't you say? Yes, definitely. I'd hear it was a sight to behold, and to be sure it was. And I viewed to thank, I suppose, for having an opportunity to see it. Wah! Wah! Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not sure I really did anything. What on earth are you saying, fella? How did I walk out of there a free man, then? I don't think it was so much thanks to me as down to your planning. You're straight talking, fella, aren't you? I must say, you had me astray in the head there once or twice. But you're young and headstrong. Wah! And there's water under the bridge.
Congratulations, Mr. McGilded, on having your name cleared.
But nothing's resolved.
There's only one thing that matters to me.
Oh?
Aye. They've all seen that I didn't do that odious and abscondent deed. 'Tis grand, is it not?
I suppose it is.
Now the fine fellas of Scotland Yard can take matters in hand and sort out any wee details. They'll see it for what it is. They'll get to the truth. I've absolute faith in them, so I have, after all. I do be providing a good number of their wages with all the taxes I pay. Wah! Wah! It's not that funny. So then, as we agreed aforehand, 1,000 guineas for your troubles, fella. Oh, no, I couldn't possibly accept that much. I'd be whizzed! You're a humble person, are ye? You from the east? Well, if you insist. But, have this. Still and all, you deserve a reward. Mr. Magnus McGilded. Everything is ready, sir, if you'd like to follow me into the courtroom.
Oh boy.
Into the courtroom.
Wait, what?
Right.
What's this, officer? 'Tis sooner than I was led to believe.
I hope it's not inconvenient, sir. There are some changes to the schedule.
Where's his eyes?
It's under my head. Or whatever that thing is on my head. Don't ask questions.
Well, I must be making tracks now. 'Tis time for the inspection. Sorry? What inspection? They're going to examine the omnibus again, so I'm told. I asked if I could be present for it myself.
They're going to examine it again. Now?
Naturally, I'm under no obligation to take part in any more of this matter now. But as an upstanding member of London society, I do be doing me best to help where I can. 'Tis a gentleman's duty, so it is. So then, fare thee well. 'Twas an absolute pleasure meeting yez. I hope you have a whale of a time while you're studying here in Great Britain.
Then he just fades out like from a Windows Movie Maker transition.
Yeah, I like that memes like adios, poof, gone.
And there he goes, a free man. Oh, I forgot she was here too.
Oh.
Don't move.
Whereas I want to say, get a move on. She really does take forever to load that thing. Miss Lestrade, would you mind putting that thing down?
Yeah, grown up.
Sorry?
And I ate all grown ups.
Ah, there you are.
There you are. Naughty, naughty. Running off like that.
Is this some kind of picnic? Who's this little girl now?
And taking that with you as well. I was looking forward to the trial run of my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Oh, do you want to play? You won't beat me.
Excuse me, but who are you?
Oh, besides you, I'm the inventor, I suppose, of that machine.
The inventor?
Well, normal smoke grenades are so dull, don't you agree? But white, and more white. If you have to be shrouded in smoke, it could at least be a pretty color, I thought to myself.
Do we have to be shrouded in smoke, though? At all?
I just took my eyes off it for a moment whilst I was changing into a different omnibus, and she pinched it. Luckily, I fitted with the telegraphic beacon.
A what's it what? I have no idea what this girl is talking about.
Anyway, you're coming with me now. Back to my laboratory. What? What for? To apologize, of course, silly. To my technician.
What? You mean say sorry?
You must say sorry when you've done something wrong. Surely an adult has told you that before.
An adult?
Don't listen to no adults. Come along then. Follow me. Fine. Have it your way. Oh, good. You see, I knew you want to do the right thing in the end.
I'm fairly sure that what she wants is not to get shot by that massive gun of yours.
We'll be leaving now then. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm so sorry for all the fuss.
She was a lively one.
Well, do you think perhaps we ought to be on our way now, too?
Yes, you're right, but where to?
Oh,
We haven't had time to find a place to stay. No sooner had we arrived in London than we had to rush here. All our traveling cases are still with the bailiff.
I was originally planning to spend today in search of lodgings.
But at this late hour in the day, I'm afraid we may be out of luck.
Don't worry, though. I have a plan. If the worst comes to the worst, I've heard of a lovely park where we could spend the night.
Please tell me you're not thinking of McGilded Park.
I know it may be a little chilly at this time of year, but our youthfulness will see us through.
I'm not so sure about that.
Alright, getting mugged.
I think a midwinter London night will freeze a young person solid just as easily as an elderly one.
Oh, dear. That doesn't sound agreeable.
Now I'm starting to regret turning Mr. McGilded down. That 1,000 guineas would have paid for a lovely warm room or mansion.
I mean, you were very humble, though.
And so, the trial to determine my worthiness for the study tour was over by the end of our first day in London. However, as we were soon to learn, there were more trying times ahead. Just as the Reaper of the Bailey had warned, the case was far from over. As she-
Bless you.
Sorry. What the fuck is happening?
Excuse me. Excuse me.
How did this happen? I don't know, sir. By the time
It
I
caught
got
a blaze?
here, it was already engulfed. No one was supposed to be allowed in here before we started investigating.
Someone is in there.
No. Oh, good God. There's someone in there. This can't be.
He has the scars. He even has the scars. Wait, did he put the thing on fire?
I can't tell you that.
I know you can't.
So yes, someone was inside that thing.
Do you think
Person
It's who I-
roasting in that open fire.
we're
Please get the judge away.
away?
So yes.
Try and steal the pizza.
So
No, I cannot say.
yep, so there was somebody inside. I can't tell you, but we'll find out soon. And you will know exactly what happens, but that won't be for a while because we still got a little bit of a problem on our hands. We got to try to find out where we're going to sleep. And we don't know where it is. But I could tell you, if you ever wanted to find a good place to sleep, the good place would be an Italian kitchen. Because at least then you have pots and pans and an assortment of spaghetti that you can make. Now, granted, you would have to make your own sauce, but here at Naked Spaghetti, we prefer to eat spaghetti without sauce. So don't go to the trouble of slicing up tomatoes, crushing them, and trying to make sauce out of it. No, what you want to do is just put the spaghetti in the boiling water, let it be al dente for about 11 or 12 minutes, and then just take a couple of bowls and then just eat it in the kitchen and then sleep in the kitchen, or maybe even better, just sleep in the rooms. So that way you can have no problem. So anyway, until next time when we see you all again, we will be going on to another adventure with Ace Attorney Chronicles, the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So until all that happens, we'll see you all then. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.